Welcome back to my channel, guys. I'm here to help you move into the 5D world, and this video will be about the science about the 5D consciousness that we're all moving into. I'm super excited. I love this thing that goes on right now because it's like it really takes us into a new way of living our life, which I think is really cool, even though we are really early. But let's dive into the video. So science, right? Everyone in this world are kind of like they're listening and they're paying attention to science and people in white robes and stuff like that, and then they kind of like believe it. But in the new earth, in what I see in my hallucination and where we're about to go, it will be a very different place. It will be a place where we are not basing and putting our really we are putting our worth and belief in people that has no experience. That's what we used to do. We just put beliefs in people that did some sort of education and they put a white robe on, but they actually have zero experience of it. So in this new earth, there will be more about experiencing, and this we're already happened. This is already going on, and the people that actually gone through something will be the teachers. So the people that have most experience will be the ones that are going to win this game and are winning this game already. So the science will kind of like move away, and the people with experience will be the ones that are having the authority to speak about things, and that will be able to show you what they've gone through, and that can speak with certainty and a knowledge from within in their own experience. And it's all gonna be very different because how we gonna do this thing is that we, dependent on how we feel about ourselves, that is gonna be the way we show up. And the more authentic we are, the more high vibe, the more work we done with ourselves will be valued as science. So when you done a lot of work, people will feel that energy off of you. So it's going to be based off a system decided about how you feel about yourself, basically. Like it's already happening, but when that really rolls in, people gonna know, like, this guy, yeah, he knows his shit. This girl, yeah, she knows it. This one has gone through this, and this one has gone through this, and I know that within, and I'm not basing what I believe in a white robe. I'm labeling it differently. Like, I'm looking at it from my own perspective, where I can know that you actually has some valuable information. Maybe when you're watching this, you're like, Michael knows something that I don't. And there's gonna be less logic. The lesser and less, like, because we live from a place of the mind. Often the world lives from a place of where logic steps in, and the logical way would make sense, and the logical is the way to go. But then you realize that the logical way was not the way to go, and you're like, the logical way didn't work at all. Actually, it was logical for me to go there to there, or it would be logical to do this and this, but life didn't go that way. I experience this all the time now these days. Like, when my mind steps in and, like, I think it's logical to do something, I don't get the success that I need to have, or like that I want to have, because there is something that people call God, source, universe, infinite intelligence that kind of like sits above you and know where your next steps are going to be. So therefore, there needs to be more trust. There needs to be more trust in the new earth, where we can trust that we are being guided instead of listening logically to even your mind, or someone that tells you that this is right for you, you should have this education, go to school, do this thing. Nah. There's gonna be more flow. You're gonna live in a more flow state, because you have two sides of the brain, is basically flow and logic. And we're going into this place where we are moving into trust, to flow, synchronicities, where everything just like plays out and you were thinking about something and you're wishing for something and then boom, it was there, and then it moves you into the next, and by doing that part you moved and you met someone that radically changed your life, and all of a sudden those things that you can't predict, like it's just ways that you can't see with your logical mind, is going to play out. And therefore the logical, how we adjust this thing within our mind, yeah, we're gonna use it, but we're not gonna base our own reality off of the logical mind, because that's not the consciousness is moving right now. So what I'm trying to say here is that science is often based off of logic, or off of what it looks good, or like that sounds great, and it's like, but now we can see more and more and more that the things that the science proven, and I'm not saying all of it, but there's things out there that we thought we would do, like we thought we would eat or be or interact or things were, all of a sudden we see that it's not like that at all. And we were like, oh shit, we believed that this thing for 100 years has been this way, but actually it was just a person that put that stuff into marketing 100 years ago to benefit himself. So you've been believing a lot of these things where someone implemented that a long time ago, and it was like, yeah, that logically seems good. It logically seems good to drink canola oils and cook it with it. But in fact, it's probably the worst thing you can do. Yeah, of course, I just use this oil. What? Like, no, all of these things is going to come to surface. What's the truth of, like, what is not logical anymore? For example, like maybe you should use the cow fat. I'm just talking about, but that's just what they always did before. So we've been indoctrinated with all of these marketing things where it sounds logical for us to do and be. Like it sounds really logical to go to school, right? Sounds logical to go to school. And that's what you do. But in fact, it was just an indoctrination that they put inside of us long time ago. And now we've been believing this, but we come to a place where we're going to see that this is not logical anymore. It's not true. Why have we done this? So there's a lot of truth. The real truth is coming to the surface, and it can also be like very confronting, because like, oh, but everyone goes to school. Yeah, everyone's been doing it. Yeah, everyone has been doing it until this point. But trust me when I say that will change. So I would say that there will be less, or like less and less science, and even no science in the future. It will be a world of more, not chaos, but more unstructured behavior. Because this flow pattern is not logic, and that means that you can't predict it. Which means that it can look like chaos, but in fact it's not chaos. It's an organized chaos by the universe, by source, by God, by higher infinite intelligence. And that we have been trusting our own logical mind. It comes down to safety. It comes down to feeling safe and basically living in fight and flight, where we have been run by our own mind. But when we move into flow, more of like the feminine energy, there needs to be more trust. There needs to be that where I'm going to and what I'm going into, I'm gonna trust that. I'm gonna trust something else, and that comes down to like you believing in yourself, which is God, source, universe, which is also all and everything around us. And that means that you also gonna trust other people, because you need to trust yourself. If you can trust yourself, you can trust other people. And if we all are one, then you are me and I am you, and we are all in this together. It's no separation. We're gonna live in we already live in a no separation, but the mind blocks us from believing that we're all connected. Because this person did this, or this said this, or blah 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 blah, and then you're in your head. When you're in your head, you're dead. That's just how, in my hallucination, how I see it. And in this place, we have to allow things to happen. We have to do more. We have to go with more. And less kind of like thinking and strategizing. It's more of like just living in this flow and allowing truths and path to come, really to come to surface, and like, oh, and understanding that I have a unique path just like you have a unique path. You are not, if your father was a bus driver or your mother was a nurse, often that was a way to like give your kids the same education as you had, because that's like safe. Now the father is giving his son the implementation of like being a bus driver, and that moves on, and all of a sudden you're doing the same thing as your father. But hear me when I say this, you came here for something completely different. You come here with something very unique. Your parents has no obligation to you than actually giving birth to you. This thing with like until up on 18th years of old, blah 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 blah, that's just a rule that someone set. In the wild, in human nature, they have zero obligation than actually giving birth to you, and nothing else. And then if you're given away or whatever, if you go to an orphanage or if you live by yourself in the jungle, that's your unique journey. And whatever happens to your life is there for you. You chose your parents to give you the experience that you need to go through life in your unique way. Like, it's all higher understanding than we can understand. And sometimes these things can be really hard, but it will empower you to believe that you chose to incarnate in this world in this exact time for a reason, and you were given all of the struggles and pains by your parents and caregivers and all around you for a reason. When you believe that, you will make sure that you find what actually, you will flip it. Like in my book, I talk about how to turn any negative to positive. How you flip things, and it makes you very wise. It gives you knowledge in a way that nothing else, any education that you will ever find, will give to you. It's impossible to gain that knowledge from a book, because what's in the book is written by someone else and their experience. Does this make sense? You need to have your own experience, right? This is the new earth. This is the new paradigm. This is what you're stepping into. Leveraging your step-by-step process that you're already in. Understanding that everything is serving you. Releasing all of the fears, the doubts, the hesitations, all of that stuff. And by the way, I have lots of protocols. I'm going to link them by below. But releasing all of that and making your journey unique to everyone else. When you have a strong story to tell inside of your world, when you can tell your unique teachings and gifts and all of that and pains and struggle in a way to an audience, man, you are unstoppable. There's no pricing on that. You can't how do you price your own experience? When you understand that you came here in this time right now to experience something different from your parents. You experience something different from your great-great-great-grandfather. We are now moving into the new earth, which is the Mayan talked about this as well. 2012, I'll make another video about that, but they said the new earth started in 2012, and up until 2030, there will be a huge, massive shift in the consciousness and the way we relate, the way we do things, and the way we act and speak, and everything. The way we value other people, the way we put other people on a pedestal that has a white robe and tells you what good or not good for you. They don't know. The only person that knows in this new earth what is good for you is you. No one else knows anything about you. They can know that you have a liver and that you have a brain and all of these things. But it's what is actually good for you, you know, and you're supposed to find out. When you know what's good for you, in this new, you will be so empowered like no one else. And the whole idea with the 5D new consciousness is that you are empowered in a way that serves you and the people around you. You're supposed to shine your light really bright. Does that make sense? So it will be less thinking with the mind, less logic, more being and doing, acting out, experiencing. Experience will be your currency. The more you experience, the more valuable you are to the world. Because what's going to happen is that AI and all of that's going to take over, and you need to be really valuable to actually be able to survive in the new earth. Because in the past, you can go and be valuable for a company working hours. That will disappear, and therefore you need to have something that's an edge to the rest of the world in this consciousness. And that will be your unique experience, your unique lessons and teachings, your unique connection to Source, God, universe, and yourself. And if you don't have that, I'm sorry, but you're going to be broke. You're not going to be able to live the life that you want. So right now, if I were you, I would decide I'm going to be valuable. Because I am valuable. I just haven't seen it in the way that I really need to see it. So you see that there is less science behind the new earth. There is none, actually. There is none things that will have other people in power and tell you what you are worth. The new earth, you tell you what you are worth. None else. They don't know a shit about you. You know, but it's also your job to find out. And if you're not doing the work, you're never gonna find out. So it's like, it's up to you to be empowered. It's up to you to take the decisions. It's up to you to take the actions. It's up to you to go and live your life. I hope you liked this video. Down below, I'm gonna link protocols for you that some of them are free. You can read about it. And I would wish that you could subscribe to the channel. That would help us a lot. And if you like the video, also like it, and I see you in the next video.